Carlsbad, People, Purpose, and Impact, an essential podcast for those who live, work, visit, and play in Carlsbad.
Good morning and welcome, everyone. My name is Bret Schanzenbach. I'm the president and CEO of the Carlsbad Chamber of Commerce, and I'm your host today, and I'm excited to have with me Mary Devlin. Mary is the owner of Barrio Glassworks. Good morning, Mary. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So I was looking at your website a little bit and looking at the background and the backstory, which is always fun for me, intriguing to see how any business gets started. And looks like before going into Barrio Glassworks, you did have a corporate background, maybe actually in the legal field?
Yes. I am a lawyer by training and education. I had about 3 decades worth of lawyering behind me.
Wow, 3 decades. Okay, that's significant. Of lawyering. So what kind of law did you practice?
I started out as a legal aid lawyer, working in LA, and then I changed from that to a labor lawyer.
Okay.
And then from that into the entertainment industry.
Okay. Wow, very interesting. Well, LA is the place for the entertainment industry.
It is.
And then it appears roundabout maybe 2012, you and your family ended up in Murano, Italy. And there's some backstory here. Like, it wasn't really the original plan for the vacation, was something different, but you ended up there. Why don't you walk us through that a little?
I see you've done your research.
Yeah.
So, yes, we were originally going to have a typical winter vacation. We were going to go snowboarding, and there was an injury in the family. And so at the last minute, we were looking at points and Costco and trying to figure out all of the contingency plan, and ended up going to Italy and did the normal tour and ended up in Venice and then Murano. And of course, they have the master glass blowers over there that make it look really easy. When you go for the demo, they do something called pulling ponies, where it's just this very fast, they make a little figurine.
Wow.
But those are master blowers that do that. And then they walk you into the gift shop. Yeah. And it's real fun. And so my husband and I were like, oh yeah, this is great. But for my son, he looked at it and was like, this is really cool. And when we came back, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine and doing some planning and talking about Drew, my son, and college. And he said, so, well, what's in the, what's Drew going to do for that? And I said, well, I don't know, maybe art school. And he said, is he interested in glass? And so this friend of mine lived in Seattle, which is a big, huge glass community. And so we ended up going up there for a visit and watched my son pick up a pipe. And sure enough, when he found a college, it was an art school with a glass program.
Nice.
So he was launched. And then along the way, I got bit by it.
Yeah. So he's he's finishing high school when all this was happening?
Correct.
Okay. Wow. So then he dove in.
Yeah.
So who would have known an injury that scuttled a snowboarding trip could have ended up in a new career altogether. And now the whole family's part of the team.
Right. So when we were thinking about this and looking for a change from our life in LA, my husband and I started planning this, and I grew up in San Diego. So we started looking in North County and found this place, found Carlsbad, which we love. When I was growing up, we never came to Carlsbad. It was too far north.
Yeah. Where did you grow up?
In Mission Hills.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, so far north.
Yeah. No, Del Mar.
I can relate because I grew up in North County, and going south is just like, why? Why do I go south of,
Yeah, exactly.
Del Mar's about as far south as I'd go, right? For the county fair, that's my limit, unless it's the Padre game or the airport.
Right. No, exactly. And so my husband was totally in for the plan, and so he took the classes out at Palomar College. It's a lovely little fine art school out there they have ceramics and woodworking and glass and everything else. And so he took the classes there, and we turned it into a family business.
You said when you had grown up in San Diego, you hadn't really spent any time in Carlsbad. So how did you end up choosing Carlsbad?
Well, when we started looking around, I didn't want to live in San Diego proper anymore.
Sure.
So Del Mar was out.
Yeah.
Solana Beach was out. Tick, tick, tick up the coast. Yeah. And this was 2015.
Okay.
So started looking around and found something online for, looking at the real estate websites, and then looked at Carlsbad and was like, Carlsbad? And came up and looked at it and visited. It's like, oh my God, Carlsbad. Because it's one of the, I'm sure as you know, it's one of the few that actually has a village.
Yeah.
That, it's not just the coast highway.
Yeah.
And we fell in love with it and
Yeah.
found a place, and then started looking around for a place to put the shop. And we were very lucky that way.
Yeah.
So here we are.
Wonderful. Yeah. No, the village is so unique, and it has so much character, to it. If you look at some of our North County neighbors, they have like undefined downtowns, or very, very small if they do have a different definition of their downtown. And so I think it's really, and you mix our downtown village with our tourist attractions that we have in the coast and all that stuff. Yeah, it's vibrant.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, we're going to take a quick break. We're talking to Mary Devlin, the owner of Barrio Glassworks. And when we come back, we're going to talk about this amazing studio that they've set up and all the ways that you can come and participate in it. So around about 2015, you guys got to Carlsbad, it sounded like, and you set up your studio. How long after? Not a little bit later.
We did not open. We opened up in December 2020.
The end of the first year of the pandemic.
Yeah, we literally opened up 2 days before Governor Newsom had to do the additional lockdown because people were not behaving. And for us, it was fine because, first of all, we wanted to be safe, so not a problem there. And our studio is so open that people felt comfortable coming in. The second lockdown, people could be open 20 or 25% for retail. And so if we had 25% occupancy every day, that'd be fantastic. So,
those weren't really hindrances at that moment.
They were not.
That's great. So I really want to unpack this experience that you guys have created, and I haven't been there myself yet. But it's after researching it, and I've heard a lot about it. I know I'm taking family there because it sounds amazing. But for our audience, let's kind of unpack this. First of all, it's a public glass blowing studio with this big open viewing section. And I love how it says no reservations required. So walk us through your thought process and how you created that whole experience part right there.
So when we were looking around to do this, we'd seen a lot of different studios, and most glass blowers have a small studio, either attached to their house or in an industrial area, something like that. And in order to actually make this a going concern, fingers crossed, we're still working on that. Yeah. It really has to be a little bit of all things to all people. And so we have the glass blowing studio. And so that is an open air area. And so with a big roll-up door so you can see the glass blowers. And we have glass blowers in there Tuesday through Saturday. And then on Sundays we do something called Make Your Own. And I'll come back to that.
Yeah.
And then we have a gift shop / gallery.
Yeah.
So there's really two components. And in the hot shop, we use it for our own glass blowing. We rent to other glass blowers in the area, and there's a number of glass blowers in San Diego County.
That's great.
And then we also do this other thing called a Make Your Own.
Yeah.
So for people who are interested in, they've seen it, they wanted to see what it's like, they can come in, and currently we're making paperweights. So it is, you come in and you play with the glass and you use the tools and you stand in front of the really hot equipment.
Yeah, very hot.
Yes.
Very hot. And the whole public part of it, like, so when maybe somebody's first coming for the first time and just wants, it sounds like when you guys were in Italy, that that experience of witnessing and watching glass blowing was very impactful. So it feels like you've recreated that for a next generation of folks.
Right. And so what happens is when you go to Italy, you're on sort of a tour.
Yes.
And ours is just a walk up and see what's going on. And that's sort of the more public access of it, where, if you're just walking by on the street, you can pop in and see what's going on.
No, that's great. I think that kind of exposure is probably really healthy for not just your gift shop, but for, the industry and in general. So I noticed that you mentioned just a second ago about your gift shop and your retail gallery, and it looks like you actually will feature artists for a period of time in your gallery. Talk to us about how that works.
We have price points from $10 to $5,000.
Wow!
And so in our gallery, we have local artists, or we have had people come and do a residency with us for a week, where we invite them to come and kind of make whatever they want to make. For most artists, the costs of renting the shop and worrying about production and worrying about that kind of thing. A residency provides an opportunity to really come in and make what you've been thinking about with very little risk to it. And so what we try to do is change our gallery to support whoever is doing the residency. Currently, we have an exhibition called Taking a Dip with Jennifer Caldwell and Jason Chakravarty. And Jason is a torch worker, which if you've ever been to Disneyland or those kind of things, they do sort of the up close, just a torch, and you can see them making the glass. And Jason works with the hot glass, which is what we have in our studio. And so they have this fantastic collaboration where they've made a porthole with an octopus climbing on it. And it's amazing and detailed and really beautiful.
Oh, that's fantastic. And when I was looking at your website, it looks like these residencies or this featured artist, it's not like you're turning them every month per se. So how long would somebody be featured or in residency?
The residency is about a week long. But the exhibit in the gallery is usually 3-4 months.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, that's great. And then one other thing that was kind of interesting to me, you mentioned how you have different glass blowers from the region, in addition to your own family, and like your son, who's very active. And on your website, you actually list which days of the week which artists are blowing glass. So do different artists kind of have their own little following, or how does that work?
They do. And one of the things that happens is you can come in the shop and you can see an artist's work. And if you are interested in seeing how they make that particular style, piece. One of our regulars is a gentleman named Nick McGuire. Okay. And he does these wonderful feathers and butterflies and things like that, which we have on display. And so he is there regularly on Wednesdays. And so if people are interested in seeing how something in particular is made.
That's really neat. So you go and see in your shop, you can see different people's work, right? And then you're like, ooh, I wonder how he does that. You can come back and watch the artist in action.
Yes.
I love that. We talked a little bit about the make your own, which is very neat. So, but you also have, I saw in there, private lessons.
Yes. Well, we've just started doing that. COVID has really changed things for glass blowers and the public access and things like that. It used to be that we all shared our blowpipes with each other and didn't give it another thought.
Sure.
Not so much anymore.
That's funny.
And so there are workarounds. You can use a blow hose on it. So you are not actually using the pipe immediately after somebody, or we'll use alcohol swabs or something like that. But what we like to do is have somebody come in and do the make your own, so they can really see how hot the glass is and stand in front of the equipment. Because for a lot of people, that's it right there. And so once they do that, they can come in and take a 2-hour lesson with one of our instructors and make a cup or a bowl or something like that, a little bit more intricate.
A little paperweight of some sort. Yeah. Oh, that's really interesting. I noticed one of your featured artists, you had talked at the beginning how a lot of glass blowers, their studios might be at their house or in a industrial area. And I noticed Rena is one of your featured artists. I've actually...
We love Rena.
Yeah. I've been to her studio at her house and seen her in action. I have some of her blown glass in my house. She is, a wonderful person, but just amazing what she could do with that glass.
Yes.
That's great that you guys bring in local people like that. You guys also have gift certificates that people can purchase. And so would that be like a gift certificate would be for somebody to use like in the gift shop or to like do the make your own experience or what?
So the answer is yes.
Yes, all the above. Yes.
You can get a gift certificate specifically for the make your own, but if somebody thinks it's a great idea for, their mother-in-law and she's like, I'm not doing that, certainly they can just use it in the gift shop, and vice versa.
Yeah, makes sense. And do you guys, do you have groups that come in and have any kind of experience?
We do. We've had corporate events, team building kind of things. We've had a couple birthday parties.
Yeah.
We had one group of 10-year-olds.
Wow.
And I have to say the mother who wrangled it did an amazing job.
Kudos to her.
Yes. She made it work.
So that's great. Corporate events. So those of you listening in, you're looking for a unique team building experience for your group. How fun would this be? Right here in the heart of Carlsbad. So, and then of course, as you already pointed out, if you're looking for a unique experience for a birthday party or any other family gathering, that's great. Anything else anything I've missed that we want to make sure that we let people know about?
One of the things that we really work at is creating a community in our shop. And we are really working at making it inclusive for the local glassblowers and making sure that women are represented. We try to work on diversity and different viewpoints. And so we really believe that if one of us is succeeding, we're all succeeding. And so we have a really nice collaborative group of glassblowers that are in the shop. It's a really nice place to work.
That's awesome. And, we've talked about your shop. By the way, just looking at the design of your place, because I haven't been there yet, as I admitted, but I will be. But it's beautiful. The building, the way it's, the whole layout of it is really aesthetically beautiful.
Thank you. That was my husband's design.
Yeah.
Gary did a really good job of looking at, and one of the things we realized with glass, you need as much light as possible. And so, lucky us that live in, Southern California, where if you just put windows in, you get lots of light.
A lot of natural light. Yeah, it's beautiful. 2 things I want to make sure we communicate. Your website so people can learn more, and also the address of your place if they want to come down this weekend and watch something in action.
Yeah, so the website is barrioglassworks.com, and the address is 3060 Roosevelt Street in Carlsbad, right next to the village.
Right next to the village. 30, say it again, 30?
3060 Roosevelt.
3060 Roosevelt, if you want to go down right away and check it out, but then their website as well where you can get more information. I'm excited. I literally, when I was doing the research, I was thinking, okay, I can see date night here, a family experience there, or team building for my team here. And I know, I believe our young professional group came down and did something with you guys a while ago. They
were scheduled to, and there ended up being a conflict in the schedule. So we're going to get them in. Okay,
good. Our young professional group that we jokingly say, but it's actually true, that they have the most fun in the chamber. They do a lot of experiential networking type stuff. So this is right up their alley. So that'll be wonderful. And I might have to be a young at heart that day and sneak in,
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to come and share with us, and look forward to you guys' long-term connection to the community and success here in Carlsbad.
Thank you very much. A pleasure to be here.
Thanks for joining us on our Carlsbad People, Purpose, and Impact podcast today. If you enjoyed it, please hit the follow button on wherever you get your audio, and please tell a friend. We would love to hear your feedback, which you can share at carlsbadpodcast.com. You can leave us a review, ask a question, or leave an audio comment, which we can play on the show in the future. And that's all we have for today. Can't wait to see you next time on Carlsbad People, Purpose, and Impact. And remember, share some kindness today. It's free, creates goodwill, and makes you feel great.